green. Yeah, he wants to make death touching tokens specifically. If he plays Soul...
Hello everyone and welcome to the final Grand Prix 2015. Dennis Rashid, Marian Labert, 2 players remaining. One of them a countryman of yours, Magnus Lantto, he's playing Birding Pod. Other side of the table, Niccolo Bellini from Italy, also on Birding Pod. Actually 56 out of 60 cards are exactly the same for these players. The only differences here are Niccolo Bellini, he's got a Casali Pride Mage, a Spike Feeder, an Archangel of Toon and a Traktas, whereas Magnus Lantto, he's got an extra copy of Restoration Angel, Reviarch and 2 Thoughtseize. So that's a lot of excitement there for us to see. Let's head over to the floor because these players are already in the feature match area. And there they are, our 2 players that are left in Grand Prix Milan 2015, the finalists as they say. Niccolo Bellini playing against Magnus Lantto, Italy against Sweden. I know who you are picking, Dennis Rashid.
Yeah,
well, I'm going to go with the Italian here.
It's good versus evil. For me the good is the Swede of course, but for most people it will be the hometown hero, Niccolo Bellini. The hope here, I'm not sure which city in Italy he's from, but obviously he has Italy behind him, rooting for him.
Yeah, and we can see a huge crowd there watching the match as well. We saw Niccolo Bellini actually on a mulligan, but he has a better start there. A turn 1 Birds of Paradise facing now a turn 2 Spellskite. Now Spellskite not that good in this matchup, right?
Yeah, not huge, but it might come in if there's a pod war and they try to fetch up some Reclamation Sages to destroy the opponent's pod.
Now that's a better turn 2. Turn 2 Birding Pod for Niccolo Bellini, basically what you want, right, for this matchup?
Absolutely, that is a perfect draw, and a less than perfect draw for Magnus Lantto, just passing it back, not playing a land, not playing a spell.
This is bad news. We could be off to a very quick game 1 here. Niccolo Bellini, he's got the Birding Pod already going. Magnus Lantto, what did he keep there? I mean, he's got no Black Source, he's got no Birds of Paradise, no Noble Hierarch, doesn't even have a Voice of Resurgence. He just kept 2 lands, Spellskite, and a lot of other cards.
He has kept some 1-landers, which mostly have gotten there for him, seeing as he's sitting in the finals here. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he mulliganed heavily this match. Do we know how many mulligans they took?
I think it was only Niccolo Bellini who was taking a mulligan, so he might have just kept hoping to draw a 3rd land. Maybe he's got Kitchen Finks and Reclamation Sage. He might have some 3-drops.
And a pot of his own, possibly.
Oh, and now a perfect turn 3 there for turn 3 for Niccolo Bellini. The Reclamation Sage gets rid of the Spellskite and now sacrifice, search himself a 4-drop. Which one will we see here?
I'm not sure. You could go for something like a red cap just to be able to pod multiple times, or go for a heavy hitter like a Siege Rhino.
He's certainly looking for the card he wants.
Yeah.
That's it. It's gonna be a Siege Rhino. So he's off to the beats as quick as possible.
And interestingly, the pod deck is usually not that quick to win, but every activation of pod that Bellini will do from here on out that Lantto doesn't answer will put that game that much farther away from Lantto's grasp. Even if he has like 3 or 4 more turns, he will always be on the back foot this game.
Yeah, and Lantto has to ship the turn once again, and we see a 4th land for Niccolo Bellini. Is he holding a 5-drop of his own, or maybe he's just gonna activate his Birding Pod once again? These 2 players, they do run 2 Siege Rhinos, both of them, so if he has another 3-drop, he could get that one. No, it seems like he's just going for a 5-drop, and that one will be an Archangel of Toon. As we know, Niccolo Bellini, he does run the Archangel of Toon Spike Feeder combo. Magnus Lantto, he opted not to play it.
Indeed, that would be some kind of an out if he ever got to 5 mana somehow. Not going to happen this game. when there we see a naturally drawn and casted Siege Rhino.
And there we have already the scoop for Magnus Lantto, stuck on 2 lands in the first game of the finals. Not the greatest start he was hoping for in the finals. And that Siege Rhino was actually going to put a +1/+1 counter on all of his creatures as well, thanks to the Archangel of Toon.
Indeed.
As if a 4-5 that drains for 3 is not enough, it's just putting a +1/+1 counter on all of his creatures as well. And there we see the deck list, and we also see, and I think this is part of success for Niccolo Bellini. There you see he's got his matchups figured out.
Yeah.
He's got a cyber plan. You can see it. He's got a lot of matchups over there. He's ready for everything, and I think this is a big part in his success.
He came prepared. That is for sure. He seems like a very meticulous player. Has printed out all the matchups that he expected here. I know that more experienced players opt to keep it all in their heads. I actually kind of use this strategy or this, I guess, safety net on some of the Pro Tours. So, and we see that a lot in Pro Tours as well. So it's something I would recommend.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's getting a lot of advantage of it. You can see it. He's just searching for the cards he wants to get out, and he's bringing in a couple of cards. He might actually be cybering like 6 or 7 cards. On the back of the table, you can already see that nice little trophy there. Champion on the left, finalist on the right. I know which one I would choose if I could.
Indeed. Bellini boarding out the cards one by one is a possible tell if Lantto keeps check on how many cards he boards in and how many cards he boards out, because they have an open deck list. They have access to each other's deck lists here, and you can expect a few of the cards, but maybe not every single card. So if Lantto counts it out, he can play with almost perfect information here. What you should do instead is just on your sideboard guide, you just write every single card that should be left in the sideboard after boarding. So you just shuffle your sideboard in there and take out the cards that are in the sideboard guide, and then you're done.
That's the next level cyber guide for Dennis Rashid. You guys should follow that for sure in the future. Niccolo Bellini, he's still doing good with his cyber guide. Now let's take a look at his cyber maybe. Niccolo Bellini, let's see what he got. He's got 2 Path to Exile, 4 Thoughtseize, 1 Entomber Exarch, 1 Tron, the Lost Troll, 1 Sin Collector, 1 Oars of Pontiff, 2 Choke, 1 Fracturing Gust, 1 Loxodon Hierarch, and 1 Lingering Souls. Which of these cards should he bring in?
Well, I would like, I actually do like having discard spells here, because a pod, in the pod mirror, the card pod is hugely important, and if you can snag that off their starting hand, because you will always have time to do that, that's a huge play. And the life totals, it's not a huge issue to pay 2 life for the Thoughtseize, in my opinion. Usually you have your Kitchen Finks, your Siege Rhinos and whatnot, and it's more of a grindy game, less of a race. So I'm expecting the Thoughtseizes alongside from Bellini, 2 Path to Exile, good against basically every single creature that you can put in a pod deck, all the Voice of Resurgence on all the persist creatures.
Yeah, it seems like Magnus Lantto has a completely different cyber. He does have the Oars of Pontiff, he does have an Entomber Exarch, a Choke, and 2 Thoughtseize, but he's got a lot of other one-offs. He's got 1 Kataki, which is probably not bringing in. The Eidolon of Rhetoric, he's probably leaving that one in the cyber as well. He's got 3 copies of Chalice of the Void, probably not coming in as well, but he does have 1 Murderous Cut and 1 Dismember instead of the 2 Path to Exiles.
Yeah, not as good, obviously, because Path to Exile is a good choice of removal here. And yeah, he has the Casali Pride Mage in the board.
Yeah, the Casali Pride Mage, which Niccolo Bellini has main deck, is in the cyber of Magnus Lantto. It did not matter in game 1 as he didn't have, well, he did have 2 mana, so maybe he could have played it on a Burning Pod, but it seems like Niccolo Bellini up to mulligan once again, just as in game 1. Well, it worked in game 1.
Yeah, I believe that other possibilities for Bellini, I could see Lingering Souls getting in there because of a possible grinding it out type game with the Gavin Townships and whatnot, as well as Thron the Last Stroll. I mean, what are you going to do against a Thron the Last Stroll? If you're going to play for a grindy game, there's a Regenerator, hexproof 4/4 that can become even bigger with the help of Gavin Township or Exalted triggers. So I could see that one coming in as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Gavini Township, a very crucial card in both of these decks. Niccolo Bellini actually having one copy more than Magnus Lantto. He's got 3, Magnus Lantto only's got 2, and it's a very crucial card in this matchup, I think.
It is in these like mid-rangey decks where you trade a lot of resources. The lands that act as resources obviously plays a huge role.
But off to game 2 we are. A turn 1 Birds of Paradise for Magnus Lantto. Off a forest, so no damage there. Niccolo Bellini, he's going to start at 19 life. Is he going down to 17 right away, or is he going to search up for a basic forest there? Temple Garden it is, so he goes down to 17. He might have a Birds of Paradise himself.
Or a Noble Hierarch is an expected play if you fetch a green. There's no Thoughtseize happening turn 1. So Magnus Lantto, if he does have the birthing pod, he could shove it in there. Just get it out.
And that's what you would do, get it into play as soon as possible?
Yeah, I think that if you expect to discard spells at least, that's what you want to do, because there are more discard spells than there are answers to the pod.
Now we're going to take a quick look at Niccolo Bellini's hand. He's got Wall of Roots, Kitchen Finks, Siege Rhino, Path to Exile, and a Swamp. So pretty good hand for him. I did see a Linvala in Magnus Lantto's hand. So that Wall of Roots and that Burst of Paradise not going to be very useful next turn.
Indeed. I wonder if he's going to take the Path to Exile to keep an aggressive plan, or if he's going to take one of the creatures that actually do something to play defensively. It looks like he's going to stay aggressive here.
Yeah, he's going to take the Path to Exile. I think big part of that is because he is holding that Linvala. It's going to shut down both of the mana creature from Niccolo Bellini, and that's right what he wants. Now Niccolo Bellini, he draws a card. Is he going to play that Wall of Roots? There we have Linvala. Activated ability of creatures your opponent's control can't be activated. Very important there, your opponent's control. Your Birds of Paradise still work. Your Scavenging Ooze, whatever you want, you can still use that.
And also importantly, it includes mana abilities, which is something that is kind of rare for these types of effects. Shutting off mana abilities is a huge thing in this matchup.
Yeah, and I don't think there's that many outs here for Niccolo Bellini against the 3/4 flyer. I mean, he does have 2 Path to Exile, but he's already lost 1, so there's 1 left. Abrupt Decay doesn't help. He does have 1 Shriekmaw, so that's another one, but that's it, right?
Yeah, there's also Eternal Witnessing up a path.
Yeah.
But that costs a lot of mana, which he currently does not have at his disposal.
Currently, he still has them.
Yeah, well, okay.
But right now,
I'm expecting a Linvala here, and we see a Shriekmaw in Lantto's hand.
Yeah, this is a great draw for Magnus Lantto. He got rid of the Path to Exile, and now a 3/4 flyer. Niccolo Bellini down to 2 lands, despite having Birds of Paradise and Wall of Roots. He doesn't have 4 mana. He's got only 2.
And we might see a reversal of roles here with Bellini stuck on 2 available mana, just passing the turn, hoping to draw more lands or a path. And Magnus is not out of cards, and he has a threat on board.
Yeah, and Magnus Lantto is running very hot lately. He qualified for the previous Pro Tour through the Magic Online Championships.
Indeed.
Did he do well at the Pro Tour? Or?
No, he qualified for the next Pro Tour. Sorry, he qualified for Washington coming up here in February.
So he's gonna he's already qualified for Brussels now as well. So
exactly.
It's gonna be very good, times for him, and he could still qualify for Vancouver, right? There's
absolutely. I mean, he has 2 events to pick up some pro points from. He gets the pro points from playing in the finals of a GP, so he could even qualify through silver if he picks up some more GP finishes here and there.
And in the meantime, we saw a Shriekmaw taking out at Wall of Roots, and now a Gavini Township growing both Birds of Paradise, a Shriekmaw and a Linvala. That's 10 damage right there, putting Niccolo Bellini to 4. He draws a card and he scoops them up. We are going to see a game 3. These were very quick games for such a grindy matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting a grindy matchup here, but it's been all keeping a 2-lander in the first game for Magnus Lantto, and then Lantto just having the perfect card in Linvala against Niccolo Bellini, not even potting it up or anything, just drawing it naturally, and that's just how the dice roll sometimes.
Yeah, these players, the mana is playing a big part so far. As we move back to the sideboard for Magnus Lantto, he might change a couple of cards. I did see him go back to the sideboard there.
looking at what we saw no discard spells in Bellini's hand or draws. Could have been a coincidence. Could have been that he decides to not board him in.
Yeah, we did see one from Magnus Lantto, and it was
Yes.
very crucial there.
Indeed, and it could also be that Bellini maybe boards them in on the play, but it does not look like he's changing the sideboard at all. Neither does Magnus Lantto, so it looks like they're just sticking to whatever they have in their decks at the current state.
And I feel like once you're in the top 8 of a GP, when your opponent has your sideboard and your complete deck, he's got your deck list, I feel like after game 2, you should reshuffle your sideboard and then take out 15 fresh cards. I know it takes some effort, but I think it gives you even a smaller stage. It also gives you the time to relax, to think more about the game. How did it go? Maybe I should change. Maybe I should put these thought seizes in anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like there's basically no reason not to do it, except that it takes some time, and we appreciate the fact that they don't do that. So we want to see more magic here. So thanks for not doing that, guys.
Yeah, we
Very
are not
thoughtful of you.
We are not the only ones that want to see some more magic. On the back, you can see Pro Tour Hall of Famer Olerada typing down as ever. He's just typing. He's another Sweden. I'm sure he wants Magnus Lantto to win as well, and also Neil Rigby writing down the live totals for you guys, so you can follow at home all the action. We've been bringing you 2 days of exciting Modern. We've seen crazy decks. We've seen turn 2 Primeval Titans. We've seen turn 2 Jeskai Ascendancy kills. We've seen turn 3 kills with Summoning Trap into Primeval Titan. We've seen so many great games here in Modern.
We've seen all the expected decks. A lot of them did well, but here in the finals, the good old birthing pod times 2.
Yeah, thank you for well, every viewer at home is like, yeah, 2 times birthing pod. I hate that deck.
No, but it's
like, a great deck.
It's a great deck, and there's a lot of play to it. It has the whole toolbox play that a lot of good players appreciate, because you can do so much with it. You can put your own silver bullet in the birthing pod deck. You could also change it up a bit for your expected metagame.
And I feel like birthing pod, the reason why it's not too good is because it's fun to play against. If you're losing to honest creatures. Yes, he's gaining a lot of advantage from birthing pod, but that card is a fine card to play against. It's not like it's completely broken on its own. It's just a great card to have and a fun card to play against.
I agree with you. And looking at the start of this final game here in GP Milan, we see a Thought Seize turn 1 from Magnus Lantto.
Revealing a birthing pod, 2 Siege Rhinos, 2 Razor Verge ticket, and a Gavany Township. Now, do you like this hand on the play?
I think this is a semi-risky keep, because if you just, if you lose out on the birthing pod here, and if you don't draw any Birds of Paradise or Wall of Roots or Noble Hierarchs, you're sitting on a really slow hand, and just playing turn 4 Siege Rhinos, that's usually not something that's going to cut it in Modern. Of course, Magnus Lantto maybe kept another one-lander. You never know with this guy. We'll have to see how the game turns out.
And as he draws for the turn, what can he draw? He doesn't draw a 2-drop, so he has to ship back the turn. Magnus Lantto on his turn does have more cards, and he's got Temple Garden, which comes into play tapped, so he doesn't have a 2-drop of his own. Niccolo Bellini does draw a Spike Feeder, so if he wants, he's also got a Kitchen Finks, so pretty good draws.
Yeah,
there.
that's fine. Now we can curve a Finks into a Siege Rhino and keep playing some good threats here. And as we mentioned, the Path to Exiles are in Bellini's deck. The Kitchen Finks is not a easily removed threat for Magnus Lantto.
Yeah, we see it. Magnus Lantto is on a Murderous Cut, but as we know, the Kitchen Finks would come back thanks to Persist. So I think he's going for another plan. He might play that birthing pod, or he might just play another creature. We will see it very soon. Horse of Pontiff, Eternal Witness. I think I like Eternal Witness on Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I guess that's probably his plan, because he can at least get one of those Siege Rhinos, and he has to answer them sooner or later from Bellini's hand or from play. So he has a Murderous Cut for one of them and a Thoughtseize for the other.
Yeah, now we see a very good card for Niccolo Bellini. We knew he had it in hand. The Gavany Township with that Kitchen Finks, a very good card. Means that the Kitchen Finks not very soon to die unless Magnus Lantto gets rid of it with a murderous cut.
That's interesting. He might actually, if he has a land here, he might pull the trigger on the Orzhov Pontiff just to get rid of the Kitchen Finks before he can get a counter from the Gavany Township. And of course, thought seizing away the second siege round, I would assume.
And I think we're off to a very long game here. It seems like we're going to get a grindy game. We got two very quick games where Magnus Lantto was stuck on 2 lands and Niccolo Bellini was stuck on 2 lands. But now we're going to see a pretty grindy game, and this is
What's the
a
last
very good
card?
hand as well.
In 2 bricks arc?
Yeah.
Wow. He's drawn a lot of action, Niccolo Bellini has.
He doesn't have a second black yet, and he doesn't have a 5th land for his
Yeah,
Gavany
he's not going to
Township.
pick the Entombor here, Exarch here, I believe.
Well, I feel like he's certainly going to take the siege
The
rhino.
second siege round is kind of a big threat here.
He's already down to 12. If siege rhino comes
Yeah.
into play, that means he's down
And
to 9.
He could take the siege rhino here, fetch for a land, play the Pontiff just to get rid of the Kitchen Finks, take a hit from the siege rhino, going down to precarious life totals, but at least he has an answer to it eventually.
Yeah, he's holding a bunch of cards. He's also holding a Gavany Township.
he has a Gavany Township and a Kitchen Finks of his own, so he can gain back that life. I think that's the line I would take, to just get rid of that Kitchen Finks, because if Bellini draws a land here and just activates the township on the Finks, then you're in for a real grind. Otherwise, you're favored in the grind plan. But again, you're possibly opening up yourself to getting raced down.
Yeah, now we're going to see them the fetch. The Marshlands gets probably what I think is going to be a swamp. Oh, it's going to be Godless Run. The swamp is already in play, actually.
Yeah, he has just 1 swamp.
Yeah, these decks, they do run 3 forests, 1 swamp, and 1 plain, so no second swamp. He does have to take 2 once again, so he's down to 9 life now, facing 4 trample damage next turn.
I fully agree with my countryman's play, as I've already explained why you would do this play.
You have not agreed with many of his 1-land keeps, but you do agree with this play there. And in the meantime, Niccolo Bellini, he draws his 5th land, so Gavany Township now live if it's needed, but I think he's just going to apply some more pressure there.
Thing is, I actually do agree with a bunch of his 1-land keeps. I keep some loose hands myself, so can't really rag on someone for that.
So you're the Gerard Fabiano type of guy?
Not that far, like not that extreme. I don't think there are too many people that are quite full Fabiano when it comes to mulliganing.
Anyway, we're gonna see what's happening next for Magnus Lantto. He's at 5 life, facing down 4 trample damage and a spike feeder, which is basically 6 trample damage, because he could move both of the +1/+1 counters to the siege rhino.
Yeah, expecting the siege rhino to die here, but I mean Magnus Lantto has a great hand. Not so much life to play around with. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a birthing pod in Lantto's hand. So he has a Kitchen Finks, now the Murderous Cut killing the siege rhino. He has a Dismember, birthing pod, and Kitchen Finks, right?
Yeah, he certainly is holding a couple of these cards. And I guess Kitchen Finks is the play here. Go up to 7, get yourself a blocker for the spike feeder.
Indeed. You will very happily block his spike feeder here with the Kitchen Finks.
I feel like Niccolo Bellini, he's already down to drawing either Birding Bot or Archangel of 2. I feel like these are his outs at this point. In the long game, Magnus Lantto is just going to gain the advantage with his hand, which has more good cards. He's got Birding Pot, he's got Kitchen Finks.
I think he's actually going to go for a pod here. Wow.
Now
interesting.
He's going down to 1 life.
Is he going to get a Linvala? Or what's the...
Linvala or Murderous Redcap? Or Siege Rhino? He's at 1 life.
He's at 1 life. He's opening up himself to... Yeah, he has to just kill the creature here.
Yeah, he's Niccolo Bellini. He's obviously going to gain 4 life in response. As we see him grab his pen, he's moving up to 30 life, but now Magnus Lantto, he's at 1 life.
Of course.
If his opponent draws a Black Source and a Murderous Redcap of his own, he's dead.
Yeah. Or Does he have a
Siege Rhino, but
no? Both of them are gone,
yeah,
right?
I guess he could draw a Eternal Witness to get back his
Yeah.
his original
Oh, and
copy.
Tomb Exarch, doesn't that? Yeah, for the you mentioned the Black Source.
Now let's see what he draws. He puts the Windswept
There
Heat
is
in
a
play.
Black Source.
So that's a Black Source. This allows him to play the Entomber Exarch he's holding. This is bad news for Magnus Lantto. He's going to lose that Kitchen Finks, which would get him up to 3 life again. And now all of a sudden Niccolo Bellini's got some more outs.
We'll see what he decides to do with the Entomber Exarch here.
He could return
A lot of choices, yeah. He could return a Siege Rhino to hand, right?
If he returns the Siege Rhino, then Magnus Lantto, he's going to play the Kitchen Finks, activate the Burning Pot, sacrifice, gain 2 more life, and then get Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
So that's, if
that's
he does
not a good plan for Bellini.
But Niccolo Bellini doesn't know about the Kitchen
Exactly,
Finks.
so that's why he might go for a present 2 threats since he has a Gavin Township in play.
And let's see what he goes for here. He's certainly thinking, but wait a second, the Entomber Exarch, can it take a creature? Isn't it like instant or sorcery?
What are you entombing? Then that makes no sense flavor-wise, right? I'm just assuming it's going to be a raised dead. It's a black creature.
It's a very good card against Scape Shift, so I'm assuming it's actually instant or sorcery. Oh, you can. Yeah, you can return a creature, but can you take a creature from your opponent's hand?
That might be the non-creature.
Yeah. So he couldn't take the Kitchen Finks, so of course he's going to return the Siege Rhino here. He could also return the Spike Feeder. There we have the Entomber Exarch. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or target opponent reveals his or her hand, and you choose a non-creature card from it, then that player discards it.
Can take lands, not creatures. But we see here the play you mentioned, playing a Kitchen Finks, activating Burning Pod for the mana, getting a presumable Restoration Angel or Siege Rhino here, because you can reset the Kitchen Finks, or you can just reset the Murderous Redcap, killing the Entomber Exarch before it becomes big.
I think I like the Restoration Angel a little bit more, because the most dangerous thing that, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? With Niccolo Bellini having that Siege Rhino in hand, I feel like you might want to go up to 8 life.
Yeah.
But killing the Entomber Exarch has some value too, because maybe Niccolo Bellini draws on a Birthing Pod, and then he can sacrifice the Entomber Exarch.
And this is how the match goes when one player has a Birthing Pod and one does not. I mean, well, there we finally see a Thoughtseize from Bellini, which is actually pretty good. It's going to hit the Dismember, which was a good answer to the Siege Rhino.
He does indeed get rid of that one. Siege Rhino hits play now. Magnus Lantto again back down to 5 life. He was at 1 life. He was 1 more life lost and he would have lost the finals, but now he's back to 5 again, and he's looking good in this game. He can search up the Shriekmaw with Birthing Pod, he can search up Restoration Angel, he can basically search for anything he wants.
Yeah, remind me, is Shriekmaw the old terror, kill a non-black thing, or is it?
Yeah, it is.
So Shriekmaw doesn't actually kill a Siege Rhino?
No, it doesn't do much on this board. So I guess he could go for a Restoration Angel, blink his Siege Rhino to get some more life gain.
Indeed, and he could, if he has an untapped land, he could actually play the untapped land, pay 2 life, activate Gavin Township to remove the -1 counter from the Kitchen Finks, pay 2 more life and go down to 1, but then gain back 2 from the sacrificing Kitchen Finks, and 3 more for getting a Restoration Angel or a second Siege Rhino or a Restoration Angel on the current Siege Rhino. Getting back the 3 life.
That were a lot of tricky situations there, but he's gonna first attack with the Murderous Redcap. What's his plan there? There's a 4/5 in play.
I think that he is.
And Niccolo Bellini not biting the bullet.
Yeah.
He's just taking 2. He's at 23.
I guess that if he blocks there, he returns the Murderous Redcap. Of course, returns to play, deals 1 more damage to it, and then he can fetch the Restoration Angel to finish off the Siege Rhino with 2 more damage. So that was what Magnus was hoping for.
Yeah, now we see another activation of the birthing pod. What is he gonna get? He's gonna get a second copy of Siege Rhino. So Magnus Lantto back to 8 life just as last turn. Niccolo Bellini finally lower than 20 life. He's going down to 18, but it's not looking very good for him.
There's the birds, and it's actually a pretty important birds of paradise here. Magnus Lantto has a lot to do with his mana. He really wants to activate the Gavin townships, and he wants to activate the birthing pod without paying life. And he's kind of mana restrained, even though he has 6 mana available to him.
Yeah, if you've got a very expensive land in the form of Gavin Township, you can never have enough land. Now, what is the out here for Niccolo Bellini? Because he's looking at double Siege Rhino and a birthing pod activation every turn.
He needs to draw his own birthing pod if he's to have a shot here.
Yeah, he draws a Noble Hierarch. That's not much of a help there. He could still activate at Gavin Township though if he wants to.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna attack with his Siege Rhino?
Attacking with the Siege Rhino trades your Siege Rhino for one of Magnus's, and I guess that's like the best option he has at this moment.
I'm not sure. He's removing his own best blocker there by attacking there.
Yeah.
So now this gives Magnus Lantto the good attack with his own Siege Rhino, whereas if he would have stayed back with the Siege Rhino, he didn't really have that option. I'm not sure if it's the right thing. I feel like he wants this game to go as long as possible so he can draw his birthing pod himself. I don't know.
Here he's going to force in an activation of Gavin Township, unless he wants to let his Hierarch hit the bin. He could also pod the Murderous Redcap here to finish off the Hierarch.
He could indeed.
Which is a fine play because... but I'm not sure which 5 drops he has. He has Rebel Arc, I guess. Is that the only option for Magnus Lantto?
He's got Reviarch. He doesn't. He's got the Shriek Maw, which could also kill the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have a Tractusk as does Niccolo Bellini.
Here we see the Red Cap being sacrificed to birthing pod, finishing off the aforementioned Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier, every birthing pod activation is just putting the game further and further away from Niccolo Bellini. He was up a game in this finals. He got his opponent down to 1 life in game 3. He had a Siege Rhino in hand at that point. His opponent was at 1 life and he had Siege Rhino in hand, but he just didn't quite get there. It seems like now the writings is on the wall.
On the wall, absolutely. There's a Revel Arc in play. You just cannot come back from this value.
Yeah, he's gonna do a desperate attack there with Entomber Exarch. Get in there with my 3/3. I guess Magnus Lantto doesn't have a really good block. He's just gonna jump with the Murderous Redcap. But this is just desperation, right?
This is just trying to survive a turn somehow. If he has a path, he might do it, but.
Magnus Lantto could actually kill his opponent there if he activates the Gravity Township.
But he could also just get a Restoration Angel and blink the Siege Rhino here.
There we go. Birthing Pod, activate, search for 4 mana. Where is my Restoration Angel? Oops, I missed it. Let's take a look at it. And there it is.
Out? No, there it is.
Restoration Angel on the Siege Rhino. Blink it, and there we see the handshake. Magnus Lantto from Sweden with his sweet Birthing Pod deck. Wow.
That's how you do it.
He played it very well this game. I mean, game 2 was a little bit lucky, I guess, because he had the Limvala and he was able to shut down 2 mana creatures. But this game, he was down to 1 life. Yeah. His opponent had Siege Rhino in hand when he was at 1 life, but he kept cool. He kept on thinking, yeah, I need to gain some life. And
I mean, that's the nature of the matchup where there's no real surprise damage as well. There's no like, oh, I'll bolt you and then Snapcaster bolt you. There's you can play around with your life as a resource, and we saw Magnus do that. A huge win for him.
Yeah, he's on a roll, man. He's winning everything. Well, he won the Magic Online Championships, right?
Yeah, he's qualified for the big thing now.
Yeah, he qualified for the Pro Tour, the next Pro Tour in Washington. In February, you will be playing with him as well.
I will.
You will be testing with him for Brussels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sweden is looking hard. You had another Swedish player in top 8, right?
No.
Or he just missed it. Elias Watsfeld.
Unfortunately.
A great guy as well, Elias Watsfeld. I could see Joel Larsen on Facebook. He was very disappointed by the loss for Elias Watfeld. But one Sweden that is qualifying for the Pro Tour and that is gonna host that trophy, right there. There he is, Magnus Lantto. What a great performance. He was down to 1 life in the finals, but his birthing pod kept on delivering, he kept on activating it, gained some life. Siege Rhino, he's making it to the boot. There we can go. Hello everyone, welcome back. Look at his smile. I mean, if you've ever seen a happy Denis Rachid, this is a happy Denis Rachid. His countryman actually made it. He's winning, he's taking some pictures there. What a great performance.
Yeah, I fully agree. The impressive play by Magnus Lantto, knowing exactly what to do with the pod deck, showing experience and the experience of a Magic Online player. Really, he plays more Magic Online than any other Swede. I'm confident in that in that statement.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to move you. We're gonna have to switch some Swedes here. We're gonna take out one Swede to get in another one. Our winner, Magnus Lantto, come in and you will have to.
Bye guys.
You might come in back again, but we're gonna have a little chat with your friend. There we have the high five. These player. Look at the smile. Put on the. Yeah, we're gonna give you the normal microphone.
This one.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You should put this in. Look at this, guys. Oh, I'm not gonna take it. It's yours. You should show it to the camera. What a great performance.
How close I need to.
Yeah, the camera's there, so they've already seen it by now. Wow, what a great. You were down to 1 life in that final game.
It was calculated. I did the calculations and
talk to the mic. Yeah.
his best out before was top taking the Archangel, and it was better to play around that than the Siege Rhino, Ivanovic. And I knew that if he doesn't top take that round, I will win.
So you
Because
kept
the pod is much more important than the third life in the mirror.
you kept your head cool. You were at 1 life. You knew it was all calculated, guys. We were panicking, but he wasn't panicking.
I knew it.
Now,
like I had a match in the group stages where it was the exact same thing. I went down to 1. He was 26. Pod is so important, you win.
Doesn't matter. You've got birding pod going. Now, how much of this was preparation and knowing your deck? Because we see birding pod is a difficult deck. You basically got to know how much of this is preparation.
It's a lot of preparation. I started playing it about 6 months ago. I think I put in about 650 matches online.
650. You guys heard that. If you want to win a GP, you better play 650 matches on Magic Online.
And that's testing above that. So that's real matches.
Well, it paid off. It certainly did.
So I felt really prepared for this GP. I haven't been around tournament Magic for a while, but I really prepared for this one, and I felt I was gonna do well right before.
So now you win this GP. You got 10. Is it 10 or 8 pro points? Certainly a lot.
I have no idea.
You might have some from previous GPs or no?
Not this season.
Start. So, but you're qualified for Pro Tour Washington in February, where you will be testing with your friend Denis Rachid and Ola. You are qualified for Pro Tour Brussels.
Yeah.
So you got some.
Perfect.
You need to get to 15 points, and then you're qualified for Vancouver as well.
I try to take a year to do it seriously, and it's paying off.
It certainly is paying off. It's a great end of the year 2014, and it's going to be a fantastic 2015 for you as well.
I think so.
Well, congratulations, good job.
Thank you.
You better buy your friend a drink this night, because he certainly
for the.
He was cheering on you the whole time. He was a good countryman.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. Wow, guys, you've seen it. He knew it. It was calculated. I love it. You were at 1 life, yeah? It was calculated, yeah? Hello again. Your microphone is on, back again.
Yep.
We've seen great Magic, and we've seen a countryman of yours take the trophy. Everyone's happy. Everyone is at home is happy because
nabbing it from the Italian.
Yeah. Treasure Cruise didn't win. Dig Through Time didn't win. It was Birthing Pod. Everyone's happy. What a great weekend, guys. That was it. We don't have any more Magic to show you, but I'm sure there's gonna be more Magic in Grand Prix Baltimore. Yeah. That's
going on right now, right?
Modern is over. Grand Prix Milan is over. We're gonna send you back. Well, this is it. We're not gonna send you back.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit confused. I'm just still shaking.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it.
Hope you enjoyed.
Happy holidays. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you. See you next time.